Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Kadar Bond of GMS Mississippi Gulf Coast. I'd like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak Kodash. Double honors are given unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. I also like to say shalom to the hopeful elect, 1/3 of the nation of Israel, various GMS camps, heads of those camps, also the Akim on the highways and hedges, not named GMS, but walking one body, one spirit, and Yahweh Shai, bringing forth this 100% truth as taught to us all by the apostles and the elders. To you all, shalom. Hopefully this little read be somewhat edifying. I'm going to read a little bit of this, how Rockefeller created the business of Western medicine. And thus we gone down this rabbit hole of disease and how shall I put it, maintaining the illnesses that have plagued the land. Because as this read comes about, the information will show that the goal is not to cure, but to treat it. Because the main goal is profit. I'm going to pull a few precepts and hopefully this don't be long. But I'm going to start at the top here. It reads how Rockefeller created the business of Western medicine. Second of all, I don't claim to be no physician, none of the above. In fact, I'm not very well read whatsoever. Because this is free information that can be found on the internet. So, in all truth, I do not attempt to intend to violate any guidelines, any laws that govern or rights that govern information. This is not set up for this purpose, just to educate, for lack of better words. And with that, let me break into this. It says, as an alternative medicine practitioner, I have a lot of conversations with patients who are disenchanted with the current Western medicine system. This disenchantment is both related to the quality of care they receive and also the way in which the business of Western medicine is conducted. I'm just going to skip around. It says this post will not directly address the aspect of patient care. Instead, it will focus on the origins of our current medical business model. And as we scroll, we see a picture there, which is reminiscent to Numbers 21, where Moses was told to make a fiery serpent, copper serpent, and put it up on a pole. And modern medicine or rather this society as a whole takes from the biblical aspect of the things that the Heavenly Father has set forth by way of His Son, Yahweh Shai, and liken it onto their society. And through the generation of brainwashing, they disconnect you from that truth and make these symbols liken onto their own creation. Just as the rainbow is now a symbol of the LGBT movement, But that was a symbol given to man, or rather the Israelites, to let them know that that the Lord wouldn't destroy the world in such a fashion anymore. But today's new speech of how everything has been flipped upside down It represents something totally wicked. But anyway, and I'm actually going to grab that script now. Let me read a little further. It says, as some, and I guess this is someone writing. Well, of course, it's someone writing this. It says, as someone who has been practicing medicine for over 10 years, I try to keep an open mind and appreciate both the good and bad that consist in the Western system. It says, in order to understand our current medical system, it is helpful to take a look at the history of medicine in America. The business story of Western medicine in the modern sense starts with John D. Rockefeller. 1839 to 1937, Rockefeller is widely considered the wealthiest American of all time and the richest person in modern history. Rockefeller is probably most famous for securing a monopoly in America's oil market, but many people haven't heard the rest of the story. Okay. By the turn of the 20th century, Rockefeller controlled 90% of all petroleum refineries in America through ownership of the Standard Oil Corporation, which was later split into Mobil, Chevron, Exxon, etc. Concurrently, around 1900, the science world was getting excited about new petrochemicals and the ability to create a variety of new compounds from oil. Some of the first products derived from petrochemicals were plastic, but organic chemists knew that oil had the potential to create far more than plastic bags. Let's see. During the same era, early 1900s, scientists were doing groundbreaking work to understand the basic mechanics of life and human health. It was during this time that most of the essential vitamins were discovered, including B1, biotin, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, etc. By identifying these vitamins, science took a huge step forward to enable simple vitamins remedies to cure, notice, listen, this cure, conditions that were caused by vitamin deficiency, such as scurvy and rickets. And of course, scientists were also involved in research to recreate. Now, how are you going to recreate something that the Lord has already created? That's a proud individual, or a proud people that, But let's keep reading. It was the scientists, remedies, causes were also involved in research to recreate synthetic versions of these vitamins in a laboratory in 1935. Let's keep going. Possibilities, because I'm just going to jump around here. Well, it's imperative. Let's see. In 1935, vitamin C became the first vitamin to be artificially synthesized in Switzerland. Rockefeller was smart enough to see this as a big opportunity, with the possibility that vitamins and medicine and medication could be developed from petroleum. Let's read it again. In 1935, vitamin C became the first vitamin to be officially synthesized in Switzerland. Rockefeller was smart enough to see this as a big opportunity, with the possibility that vitamins and medication could be developed from petroleum. He saw the chance to control and monopolize multiple industries at once, petroleum, chemical, and medical. And of course, chemicals were ideal for a business perspective because they could be patented, owned, sold for high profits. And that's basically the foundation of this business, patented, owned, sold for high profits. And now thus you have your pharmaceutical. You have your Johnson and Johnsons. You have your what it is, Moderna. You have these big name pharmaceutical companies that do research and whatnot, and it's all rooted in petroleum based medicines. It says, but for let's see, but there was a big problem with Rockefeller's plan. Natural and herbal medicines were very popular in America during the early 1900s. Almost half of the medical colleges and doctors in America were practicing holistic medicine using extensive knowledge from Europe and Native American traditions. Rockefeller knew that to get total control of the medical industry, he would have to expunge the competition. So to start, Rockefeller used his vast oil money to purchase part of the Germany pharmaceutical company for IG Farben. You can look it up. This company's involvement in the World War II. Now that he controlled a drug manufacturing company, he could move forward with his plan to get rid of competition. It says in the early 1900s there were a variety of doctors and healing modalities in America. Some of the medical specialists included chiropractic, neuropathic, homeopathic, holistic medicine, and herbal medicine. To eliminate the competition, Rockefeller he hired a contractor named Abraham Flexner to submit a report to Congress in 1910. This report concluded that there were too many doctors and medical schools in America, and that all the natural healing modalities which had existed for hundreds of years were unscientific quackers. The report called for the standardization of medical education, whereby only the AMA, another monopoly, would be allowed to grant medical school licensures in the U.S. So he gained control to the point where he was able to give out the permission for any medical schools to exist here in the U.S. That's interesting. Didn't know that. It says certainly Flexner's report did have some valid points, but unfortunately, the motives for the report were entirely driven by Rockefeller's desire for complete control of the medical system. Based on the report, Congress acted upon Flexner's recommendations and changed laws related to medical practice. Incredibly, allopathic medicine became the standard modality, even though at the time its main treatment methods were bloodletting, leading surgeries, quite barbaric at the time, and the injection of toxic heavy metals, lead and mercury, to supposedly displace disease. With these legal changes in place, Rockefeller teamed up with Andrew Carnegie and started funding medical schools all over America on the strict condition that they only taught allopathic medicine. Through the power of their huge grants, this powerful team systematically dismantled the previous curl. I don't even want to mangle up the word of these medical schools, removing any mention of the healing power of herbs or natural treatments, teaching on diet and other natural non-drug treatments were also completely removed from medical programs. After removing traditional medicine from schools, Rockefeller had sure to secure his monopoly by launching a targeted smear campaign against his competition. Homeopathic and natural medicines were discredited and demonetized through the newspaper and other media other media of the time. Some doctors were even jailed for using natural medicine treatments, including treatments that had been used safely and effectively for decades before. In a very short time, medical colleges were all homogenized. All the students were taught the same allopathic system, and medicine was now defined as a process of prescribing patented drugs. A pill for an ill became the mindset of American medicine. You know what? I'm gonna stop right there. We get the point. Let me pull a few precepts. Let's get a few precepts. Let's get one first on that symbol that we seen. And this is Numbers 21 and verse 8. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he look up upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. Now, and that was the reason why he had to do that, because our people were acting up after we were led by the hand of the Lord out of the land of Egypt. But that symbol, I just wanted to bring out that precept, was where they get that from for their modern medicine. How we put that mascot? They're using that mascot as a mascot to promote their medicine. And at the same time, he got rid of the herbs and the holistic ways of treating people. Now let's go to another one here, because this is going to be Job, because these are physicians of no value. Because their main objectives of what? Profits. And it said that. Be sold in profits, patent, sold in profits. It wasn't about curing or helping anyone. It's about the money they can make. Note that the pastor said that he was one of the richest, if not the richest American of all times. So, a rich man wants more riches and more control. That's basically it. He got everything as far as riches is concerned, so he wants more control. And to monopolize a business is what? To have more control over, of the various business institutes. And they went about that systematically. But let me pull this real quick. This is Job 13 and I'm seeing all this. Saying that we know that to you. I'm gonna start at the top. This is Job 13 and start at 1. It says, "Lo, My eyes have seen all this. My ears have heard and understood it. What ye now? The same do I know also. I am not inferior unto you. We're not inferior unto this man. As a matter of fact, we are above this man. When I say this man, these knuckle draggers, Esau, Edom. Surely, verse 3, surely I would speak to the Almighty, Yahweh, and I desire to reason with power. Verse 4, and it's the point. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Did he not lie? He sent Abraham Flexner to the Congress with globs of money to get laws passed that would discredit, that would demonetize, that would scrutinize what? Holistic medicine, herbal medicine. They are physicians of no value. These physicians have no value. When you have a way to cure certain elements or cure elements, and then you come in and you run a smear campaign so that you can come up with a medical field that doesn't cure but actually adds what you call side effects. You know, you're a physician of no value. These people are physicians of no value. You know, we're gonna keep it rolling. And let's go to because those laws had to be set in place in order for them to do what they do. This is Isaiah 10 and verse 1. It says, woe, destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. You know, because they sat back and thought long and hard on this, you know, what the money that they can make. And set forth to you know, there's too many doctors, too many medical colleges in the U.S. So they set forth to write up laws where his foundation in particular would fund all the medical foundations. And plus, on top of that, they had to go around and discredit all of the holistic or the herbal foundations. Always to the point where they was imprisoning some of the doctors. You know? Let's see. Let's grab two more. We'll get up out of here. Let's go to, I think it's what it is. 1 Timothy, 1 Timothy 6. Straight to the point. And it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babbling, and opposition of science, falsely so called. And science means to know. And he went about it saying that the science of herbal medicine and whatnot was unscientifically quackers. But in retrospect, he was just projecting. And he had the money and the resources to do so. Thus, we have what you call the Western medical system today. Now, I'm going to grab this last one because that's a way, that's some, they have to have lands and products to come up, land and the resources, rather, to come up with the medicines. You know, resources, you know, the oil, you know, he was the owner of Standard Oil, and it branched off into Mobil and Exxon and Chevron and etc. But all these brands with different names, but still under the same family head. You know? And truth be told, those resources belong to other people, namely the Native Americans of the nation of Gad. This is Micah 2:2, and it says, "And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." Hey, it goes without saying, when they went over to war with this that war on terrorism, what did they do? They covered fields. Afghanistan in particular, because if as the studies show, Afghanistan has some of the world's largest poppy population, and poppy is the key ingredient to making opioids. And I believe Afghanistan is produces about 70 to 80% of the world's poppy. So you had to even question yourself, why do they go to these other countries with this nation building in mind? Like I said, they covered fields and take them by violence. And then after it's all said and done, after they're drained all the resources for the most part, they fill their bellies and their pockets and their accounts. They fill their lust, whatnot. Then they leave the people high and dry to deal with the aftermath. We're going to grab one more just to close it out. Because someone has to pay. And they think they can do all of this and they don't have to pay nothing. This is Psalms 36 and verse 1, and it reads, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord Yahweh. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of God before his eyes. For he flattered himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He had left off to be wise and to do good. He devised mischief upon his bed. He sitteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhors not evil." He abhors not evil. Well, I'm gonna cut it off right there with that. They have to pay. They have to pay, and we know that anytime you transgress the laws being given to the Hebrew Israelites, or God's chosen people. But you can liken this on to all these other nations as well. Because in the future, they're going to have to abide by our law or be judged by them. And with that, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, B'Hashem Rahak Kodash, double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.